Now on the holes up here, these are not going to hurt anything as long as your case integrity around the edges. No air leaks can come out of here, 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 or through the holes. Okay, you can have the vacuum inside here, but air cannot leak out of that channel. Therefore, you need to seal, once you put your bolts in, you need to seal the bolts on either end in order for you not to have an air leak. If you have an air leak in your engine, what happens is you have a high idle because it's getting extra air into the engine. Now what you will have is extra air, and then it will go high idle, and then the idle will get lower and lower because the gas is leaning out in the engine. Then it'll quit. And a good engine should idle all day long if it doesn't have any air leaks. And here's where I've kept trying. You can see there's the hole for the oil. Now a lot of people, I've heard this from an expert in Hawaii. I'm not going to say his name, but I think a lot of you know him, who told me it would be wiser to take a drill bit and to open this oil gallery a little bit more on the bigger engines, and that makes a lot of sense. So I'm not going to say who said that to me, but thanks, Dave. Here is some of the close-in work, and you can see I butchered it pretty well. I mean, I'm not a machinist, but I do experiment, and I don't have a drill press like I should have had. I don't want to trust anyone else to do it. And all I have to do, basically, is get this deck right here down to with a millimeter clearance. And these sidewalls have got to have 1 millimeter clearance right here. Now I won't tell you who told me that either. Thanks, Dave. But I got a lot of good advice from a few good people in Hawaii. Very good people. Now when I got close to where I wanted to get, as far as I would take my calipers and I would push them down into the base here and up here and down here and check how many hundredths I'd have to go, I started to use a blocking method, which I use an ink pen right here. And the ink pen just lets me know where I've cut and where I need to cut, because I'll run the cutting bit over the edges and it will show me where I've cut, and because your eyes sometimes can deceive you on that. And remember, I didn't know if this was going to work or not. Now this is after a first pass with the cutting tool, and you can see, I can see by where I've cut that's what I did cut. And remember, all this has to be done correctly. It's like the engineers on the Mercury Redstone rocket. They made that, I believe, in 1967, and the head designer said this rocket has 1.6 million horsepower. It also has 1.3 million custom parts that are, most of them are one of a kind. And he said all these parts have to work in perfect harmony. If one fails, the whole rocket can catastrophically fail and ruin it. So that's why even with these little motors, you have to take your time and have a little plan and follow your plan. Now this is where I've done a little bit more. And remember, you weren't supposed to see these. Nobody was supposed to see these pictures. These were going to be my private Stroker Racing DIOSpeedDEMON archives that I was just keeping for my own record, but I've done this a couple years ago, and I just want to show them to you. I know that the pictures are slow and I'm slow, but you can keep looking over these pictures year after year. I do have a few rental videos, but I'm doing some rentals for like 99 cents, so I can maybe buy some parts, because the economy's not that great over here. But all my Dio videos, they're all free, so don't worry about that. And this is where I've done more, and I can see where my high and my low spots are with the cutter. And I just kept going and going and going until I felt I got it right. Then we've got a whole shitload of videos to go, so if you miss something, just turn back and view another video, because I'm going to show you all of my secret pictures. All these parts are purchased from vtcycles.com in Hawaii. Owner is Steve Van Treese. And I've taken a poll between me and my 3 cats, and we've decided that Keone needs to come back in that shop as soon as possible, because we took a vote on it, and good help is hard to find. So Godspeed.